Hello there and welcome. My name is Linda and my channel is called Linda T70. It's really good to have your company today. Thank you so much for joining me. Hello again to my regular viewers and my subscribers, and if you just happened on my channel today, it's really good to have your company and I hope you'll stick around for my video and perhaps look at some of the others. Now today I haven't got the sort of video that, you know, where I'm showing you lots of stuff I've bought, but I was inspired to do this by one of my regular contributors. When I said in my last video, if you watch these in order, you'll know what I'm talking about. I was complaining about the little ribbons that you get when you buy dresses, and lots of you came back and said, kind of confirmed what I'd thought about them, that they were there from, you know, they were put on in the factory and blah blah. And some of you have got very different uses for them. Somebody used the little ribbons to give to her granddaughter for her dolly, and somebody else used them for belt hooks. All very ingenious, and I take my hat off to you. But somebody did also reply saying that this was Maggie May is her name. I hope she doesn't mind me saying, a bit too late if she does, but she was saying that they will go into her room 101. These little bits of ribbon will go into her room 101. So I thought, why don't I do a room 101 video, because I like to have a little complain about things and get my opinions across to you. In fact, one of my contributors said, I think it was just in the last week or so, from probably about the last video, I can't actually remember, she called me a moaning Minnie. So, and she's probably got a point there. So I thought, well, I'll have a bit of a moan fest now, and maybe you can let me know what will go in your room 101. So the first thing I'm going to start with is passwords. I mean, what can we say about passwords? So you register with anything, whether it's a bank, a shop, anything. I don't have to tell you this, I know. And you have to think of a password. And of course, it can't be a password that you're actually likely to remember because you've used it on something before. You've got to have something unique to that website. We have a book in this house where we write, I know this is what you're thinking, well, you know, somebody breaks in, but they'd be lucky to actually get any information from this book, because we've written all the passwords down for all the different companies or websites we use, and none of them ever work. It's absolutely ridiculous. So you're constantly trying to come up with new things, finding something that is memorable, something that you think, oh yeah, I remember that. And I don't know if it's possible that some people just remember all their passwords. I know there's a password manager thing, but I'm a bit skeptical about that. So that's more of a young person's thing, I think. So, you know, basically I stick to bits of paper. But as I say, every time I try and use them, and it's not just me, it's current husband as well. I mean, we are like old people, but honestly, you know, we put all the information in and it says, you can find another password. It just drives me absolutely. And doing anything online, sometimes, you know, when it works, it's great. When you can buy what you want, the website's easy to navigate, you know, it's all quite clear what they're asking you to do, but you sometimes just get some where you just think, I'm not going to live long enough to finish this transaction, so I think I'll just give up now. And some of them also store your card details, and I make a point of not doing that, but they seem to do it anyway. So when you go to buy something the next time and you start putting your email address in, it goes, oh, we know who you are, and it comes up with all your card number and everything. And I think, well, I've not asked you to do this. I've not asked you to remember me. I like to be very much in the background on this sort of thing. Thank you very much. And so I still type the names in rather than say, oh yes, use this, because I'm never really quite sure. We're all so scared of being scammed, aren't we? But anyway, that's probably long enough on passwords. You get the gist, and I bet you're the same as me, or most of you are. But I'm going to have some people that say, well, you're just stupid, you know, if you did this, you'd remember them all. I'm going to be a bit of a moaning Minnie, aren't I, about this? So that's the first thing, passwords. Now, the second thing that's going into my room 101 is people who refer to themselves as being old when they're just not. And it's like when you're watching TV or something and they're interviewing somebody who's probably, 38 or something, and they say, oh, well, I'm getting old. And I think, well, you're not, are you? You're just not getting old. And it's like, it's a bit of a one-upmanship, and everyone has to keep telling you how old they are, and everyone has to wait for them to be themselves to be told, oh, we never thought you were that old, you look half that age, which is, all a bit kind of manufactured, I think, really. But yeah, people that just say, oh, well, I'm getting old now, and you're sort of there in the company of an 85-year-old or a 90-year-old or a 110-year-old, and you think, well, actually, this is kind of really what's older now, isn't it? And on the age thing as well, I do object to it on the news and in newspapers or newspaper websites. People, like, I wouldn't be described as Linda T, YouTube sensation, 70 years old. I'd be grandmother or granny or nanny Linda T, blah, 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 blah. You're never, once you get to an age, you're just described as that, rather than you being a person that's not, I mean, I'm sure all these people are grannies, but I don't like the fact that that's how they refer to you. It gives to me, it gives an impression, even though I'm a granny and I'm quite old, as somebody sitting with a shawl and knitting by the fireside, and most of us just aren't like that. So please stop describing folk as grandmother or grandfather. I don't know if any of you notice this, but it happens all the time, everywhere. Just say Susan, 72 years old, not grandmother Susan. That winds me up. You can tell I'm on one there, really, can't you? Anyway, so that's the second one. You get the gist. So passwords and people who refer to themselves as being old when they are mere slip of things. Well, we haven't got long enough for my driving and parking room 101 thing. I mean, everything about driving, parking, doing it yourself, other people doing it. It's just the rudeness. I wrote some words down here, so I try, because I'm always trying to think of words, aren't I? People being rude when they're driving and parking. There's no thought for other people. Or I walk around the streets quite a lot with my dogs, and people are always parking on the pavement, and I do that myself. But I do try and think, well, can a person with a pushchair or a person with a dog get past my car without going in the road? Most people don't think. They just don't do it. I think so many of us are just in cars all the time and don't have to walk anywhere, really. Just got no grasp on it. And I think they're trying to make a bit of a thing about that, aren't they? An offence to park on pavements, which I don't think is. I don't want that, because there are times when it's necessary. But I think people who park those vehicles should think twice before they do so. And also people that park in dangerous spots, on double yellow lines, on bends or whatever, and stick their hazard lights on, and they think, well, that's all right, I've got my hazard lights on. I mean, I don't know. I just think it's absolutely appalling the way people do that. There's no pleasure for me in driving anywhere and trying to park anywhere at all. Don't like it, hate it. And the day when they DVLA say, we don't want you to drive anymore, you're too old, or you've got one eye, or whatever it might be, that will be quite you know, I'll be glad to do that. Right, so that's 3 things. The next thing I've got is Americanized expressions. Now, if you're in America and you're watching me, please don't be offended, but I don't see any need for us to have changed getting a takeaway to a takeout. What's the point? From the get-go instead of from the start. Why do we say that now? And why do our children go on play dates? They used to just go to somebody's house for tea when my children were small. They didn't have a play date. Yes, you wrote it on the calendar. It was a date. But I think it was just a lot more informal, really. But now it's, you know, military. You have to organise something with military precision, it seems. So those sort of things wind me up, really grind my gears. But the other things that, you know, people say universally, I can't stand it when people say, yeah, 100%, 100%, yeah, I'm going to do it, 100%, 100%. I think, well, I wouldn't expect any less from you. Try 100%, but you don't have to keep telling me 100. Well, I might give it a 33.33% chance of me doing that. I mean, no one says that, do they? They say 100%. And the other thing is, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie. I really don't like strawberries. I'm not going to lie. Her hair looks really horrible. I'm not going to lie. I don't expect you to lie to me. I mean, somehow, so when people say, excuse me, I've got itchy nose again. When people say, in all honesty, or to be honest, I don't mind that. But I'm not going to lie. I mean, it just drives me crackers. I'm going to touch on the relentless summers of sport, although I've moaned about that before, hence the moaning mini comment, I think, from the lady last time. I mean, I'm not going to say any more about it, but we've got 3,000 channels, and I know the argument is you don't have to watch this because you've got loads of other channels available. And I do, you know, I've got the standard requirement that everybody has, but I can never find anything to watch. Last night I had to watch football. Every night I've had to watch football with I'm so sorry, itchy nose, with maybe it's some sort of side effect from moaning, what do you reckon, with current husband, because I couldn't find anything else to watch. I flicked through all the channels and eventually you just think, I'm going to lose the will to live in a minute, and I didn't want to just go to bed, so ended up watching the Scotland game. People that drop litter, I mean, and the manners of people these days, no one's got. We used to be taught, I would say, basic manners when I was a child, and I know that all my contemporaries were as well. And I think parents these days, me being a grandmother of 9 grandchildren who have assorted levels of good manners, I think parents are just so busy they can't face telling them again to go and wash their hands before they eat their dinner, or say please when you give them, you know, they ask for a biscuit or something. I just think parents are exhausted with it all. I mean, our parents all seem to manage, but you know, I think this manners in general, of course these children grow up into adults who then perhaps don't have the same manners. Maybe I'm being a bit you know, idealistic here, but it would be nice if people treated each other as they'd like to be treated. And we all kind of thought this was going to happen after you know, that disease we had, what's it called? I keep wanting to say Cosmos. Anyway, you know, when we all had the thing that lasted for 2 or 3 years. And you know, we did the clapping and we were all kind and we did each other's shopping, and you know, we entered shops 2 at a time or whatever it was, and we tried not to sneeze all over everybody. But it's just all gone, hasn't it? All gone. Everyone said the world's going to be a different place, we're all going to be so much kinder, and we're not. There you go. So the last one, you'll be pleased to know, I'm going to mention is Facebook groups that refer to TV shows I watch. Now, I don't really want to mention any names if anybody that lives in my, not lives in my area. The program I'm thinking of is it's a national program. But there's a Facebook group, and I joined it for the reason is I used to lose track of when episodes were on, because it's not on all year, and I can never find out the information about when the program's going to be back. And it was like a sort of, something that was on a regular basis, and then it would stop and start and stop. Anyway, so I joined this group just for an information point of view, and the venom and vitriol that people say to other people in the group, and just say generally about the people that act in the programme and criticise the way they look or the way they speak, and I've never contributed to this group. I've never written a comment, because all I want to say to them is, well, don't watch it then. Watch something else. If you can't stand the acting. I mean, they write things like, I didn't understand the plot today. And I'm thinking, well, you'll have another one to watch next time. And I just don't understand why people get so involved. Now, I'm quite boring, and I watch the telly. I know you're saying you're not boring, but I am. I watch the telly a lot. And I don't, I haven't got a life where I'm out, doing loads of stuff all the time. So, yeah, I have the TV on quite a lot of the time because I like the noise in the background. I'm on my own, unless I'm going out and doing things, which is quite a lot of days. But there are days when I'm on my own from 7 in the morning till probably 7 at night, apart from my dogs and if I see my neighbour. But, so you do I do have the TV on. There's a little bit of company in the background. I know, it's so sad. But I cannot understand why people, somebody thought I was a moaner. Well, I'd never in a million years be in the same league as some of these people, and I'm sure it's the same with other people in other groups. And we've got a local area. I'm sure most of you that do Facebook have got perhaps whatever area you live in, there's a local area group, and someone tells you the traffic lights aren't working at what's its name's road, or something. So it can be a useful tool. But then I saw somebody not pick up dog poo yesterday, and there's a red alert everywhere, and everyone's in on it, and they've all got their comments, and naming and shaming as well. Going back to the badly parked car thing on pavements, and people show someone's vehicle with the number plate. What's the point? There's enough anger and miserable stuff going on, isn't there? And do we really need any more? So these things can be the best of things and the worst of things, can't they? They can be a useful tool. I do sometimes find out when I use the group that I was talking about for the TV programme, when it stopped, and when I know when the next episode's on, because it tends to be on it's not on when there's like school holidays and things like that. So it's not like something like EastEnders or Coronation Street or something that's on every day, every week, and doesn't stop. So the particular programme does. So it can be quite a useful tool for that. But when everyone's just sort of being really horrible about the people that are in it, and the acting and the this and the that, and I think, well, just go and And the only reason I haven't taken myself off of this group, because believe me, I have thought about it, is because I like to know when it's coming back on again, and I might miss out if I don't keep my eye on it. But it's just absolutely ridiculous. So basically, Facebook groups for TV shows, and people really need to think twice about what they're writing on local area groups. Great for the right sort of information. I mean, we one of our counsellors actually on one of the groups that I'm part of, nothing to do with the TV programme. She's said that she's just resigning because she's tried to help people, and she's got so much, you know, horrible, not trolling perhaps, but so many awful comments from people. She's just given up, and I think that's an absolute crying shame. Anyway, so there's just a few of my Room 101. So thank you to, excuse me, to Maggie May for the idea. And thank you for the lady that called me the Moaning Minnie, because you have just had all your dreams realised with me moaning about all that. I mean, I could probably do it as a national sport, couldn't I? We could put that on the telly through the summer, couldn't we? So yeah, there's just a few there. I could think of a lot more. I was going to tackle packaging, how you can't open any packaging, and I thought, no, just leave it there, Linda, leave it there. This is all for today. I think I might do, if you're interested, obviously if not, you're probably switched off by now anyway. I'll just do a little thing of my garden, because it's a few weeks since I planted some things and, you know, did the pots and things. So I thought I might just show you that, if any. Current husband actually suggested, he said, why don't you do a video of the garden? And I said, well, I don't know that there. He said, well, take a video. So I thought, well, if you don't want to wash it, you don't have to. So I'll just show you how some of the plants are doing. It's doing quite nicely out there, so I'm quite pleased with everything I planted. Yes, so I shall be back with you hopefully on Friday. Try and do something for you then. I've got something in mind. I've ordered something. Not sure if it's going to turn up. It's just, you know, we just don't know what's going to happen, do we? The excitement of it all. Thank you for watching. If you would like to subscribe, I would love you to. My numbers are creeping up, and I did say once I got to 1,000 I wouldn't go on about it, but if anybody out there would like to subscribe, it will be very, very, very much appreciated. And of course, I very, very, very much appreciate my regular viewers and anyone who's just happened on my video and sat through it. I will see you very soon, so take care, and bye-bye. Okay, I'll just do this very quick video, but I won't speak over it because it's very quiet around here, and everyone can hear what I'm saying. So just a bit of an overview of everything. Apologies for the washing line and the wonky washing line and the wonky sun parasol thing. But anyway, I'll just show you how things are coming on. Thanks for watching that, if you've stuck around long enough. I know that I've got crunchy grass, so sorry about that. It doesn't sound very loud when you're walking on it, but when it's on camera, I think it does. And my neighbour came out as well, so you've got her saying hello to me in it. So apart from that, hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed the whole video, and see you soon. Take care.